Hey everyone, it's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. You guys are seeing this on Saturday, but I'm taping this on Friday, September 11th, 2020. I worked for United Airlines on that tragic day. I was stuck in Japan for 4 days because of the halt of international air travel after that. I actually lost a flight attendant friend of mine who was on that first United Airlines plane that went into the tower. And I'll never forget. And so every year that this day comes, I'll always put my flag up and pay homage to all those that were lost on that tragic day. Members of the NYPD, the PAPD, EMS, FDNY, and the crews of the United and American airline flights. I'll always remember them. I always have this shirt for Ground Zero, and also this hat that I made because the sweatshirt that this was embroidered on was just trashed. So I wanted to keep this patch and to keep it alive by pasting it on another hat so that I'll always have it. It was a tough day for sure. While we never forget, we have to go on. We're Americans, we persevere, we just go on with our lives, never give up. So anyway, today I'm going to finally paint this Craftsman Lt2000. I spent all day yesterday sanding and prepping this thing for paint. It's a lot of trouble. I'll also show you what I have to do beforehand. Before I put this into the garage, I have to first clean out the garage because I want to paint indoors. As you can see, it's very windy today, and there's no way you're going to want to paint outside with spray paint, you know, just no way. Even in a light breeze, it's not ideal, you know, but the winds are pretty heavy today. I got to move out at least this tractor and at least half of those mowers out of here so I can start laying down some sheets of blankets and bed sheets, and so that overspray doesn't get all over everything. As you can see, I've taken out pretty much everything that was in the way in the garage. I'm going to be a busy bee in the next month or so. I'm still waiting for an engine for this, but I'm not in any rush. I'll probably just park this back into this shed again. Order a couple of new tarps for my tents in the back, as one of my tents and the other shed has a hole in it. It's got a couple of tarps off of eBay. As you can see, I've got a lot of blankets and old sheets that my wife tried to throw out, and I says, I could use those, don't throw it out. So I've converted my garage into like a little painting booth here, you know. This is so the overspray, if any, gets to these areas here. As you saw yesterday, I masked off everything. It took me all day to mask off, including the stickers. I did way more than I should have for this condition tractor, you know what I mean? But if you're gonna do it, might as well try to do the best job you can, right? From what you're given. So I don't get it too often, but once in a while, you get a bunch of haters on your comments. And there's this one guy who wrote, you know, he's probably a small engine repair guy, you know, owns a shop or something. and he was telling me about how the brake job that I did was not the right way to do it. I'm like, well, first of all, of course, since the bolt was stuck in there, the only way to get it out was to try to extract that bolt, you know what I mean? But because of the condition of this tractor, I mean, hey, if he got this tractor in his shop, he wouldn't even work on it. He would just chuck it into the garbage or whatever, you know, or giving it away or something. But I'm taking garbage and trying to put life back into it, is what I'm saying, you know? And so with the Loctite, putting the caliper back on, that thing is solid, bro. You'll never get it back off again. But before I did it, there was no brakes. Now I did it, there's brakes. And I'm turning this piece of junk into something that lives again. So that's my thing. But, you know, I'm not sour or anything. On the other hand, I think he's sour. He's sour, he's salty because he thinks that guys like me give him a bad name. Well, I gotta tell you, there's a lot more guys like me than there are small engine shops. You know what I mean? And I've always said, I'm not a mechanic. I just take junk and flip them. That's all I do, you know? In any which way that I do it. But you know what? Haters gonna hate. They're just gonna hate. You know what? I'm okay with it. I like haters too. You're welcome to comment and I won't take it down. Let everybody read it. Because haters gonna hate no matter what you say. But I'm lucky though, because for the most part, my subscribers and my people who watch my videos have nice things to say. Because I guess they understand what I'm doing. That I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a small engine repair shop. I don't go by any book. I just turn these things into working machines again. Like I always say, here at Mowers and Blowers, we push tractors in, but they come out driving. And for the most part, they do. Let's get to the paint job, huh? So here we go. I'm gonna paint the hood first, so I covered up the back because overspray will get to the back. And technically, if you're doing a perfect job, you know, you gotta cover that up. But obviously, this is not gonna be a great job because the thing is in terrible condition. You know what I'm saying? But just showing you that you should cover that part up while you're doing this one, and then wait for this dries, cover this up, or take the hood right off, and then you can do the back. You know, technically. But like, I'm not a professional. I'm just a rattle can guy. You know what I mean? But we'll see how this goes. It's not going to be a son of a gun. It's not going to be a good job, but it'll be better. It'll look better than before for sure. I've done better paint jobs. You guys have seen it, right? But those are on much better conditioned tractors. So here we go. Sunrise Red from Rustoleum gloss. Got this Rustoleum handle here that, you know, makes it easier for me to do it.
Henry, shut up and hurry up!
Hey, the wind is blowing a little. I'm waiting for the wind to die down a little bit.
Hurry up!
Anyway, you want to do it on the top first so that the overspray covers down. You start spraying this way, right? All the paint is wasted going over here, you know? So since gravity will pull it down, you're getting some coverage on the sides, even though it is overspray, but it'll still be wet, you know? Man, that wind is still blowing. I can feel it. All right, whatever. Yeah, it's blowing pretty hard. It's coming right back at me. You guys see that? Definitely not ideal conditions to paint anything. Some streak areas that I missed. Do it a little bit further away so that the spray spreads into the covered areas. Sweeping motion. wrist is starting to get a little fatigued. Damn wind. That's pretty good. As long as it has full coverage. But the top here, I mean, you can see the rust parts and stuff, you know? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Okay, so, you know, came out all right, and it looks good from far away, but don't get too close, because then you'll see the rust spot still, you know, bubbling up. But, very red and vibrant, isn't it? Anyway, I gotta wait for all this stuff to dry before I can, you know, start masking off the red and painting the black, you know, so this will probably be it for today. While I'm waiting for the thing to dry, right? I started screwing around with this collection of 7 lawn mowers that I got from Lawnmower Hoard Triage. All right. First thing I did was look at the Toro, because I like the Toro the best. It has the Kohler XT675 engine on it. I really like it. So I checked oil and gas. It has some in it, right? And I just gave it a pull and it wouldn't start. I mean, I gave it like 3 or 4 pulls and it wouldn't start. I shot some go-go juice in there and then it started up. However, then it started to run really erratically, you know. I'll show you. So in the beginning, it wouldn't stop, okay? I remember that this XT675, the bail cable is attached, of course, to the kill wire, right? The kill wire is actually attached to the brake, so that when the brake touches the flywheel, the brake is actually a metallic pad, right? And so when the pad touches the flywheel, it kills the engine. That's the ground. Well, because this thing hasn't been running so long, there was a layer of rust on the brake pad, which didn't allow it to shut off. So it kept on running and running as the brake was touching the flywheel. But then after a few revolutions, right, the flywheel was scraping the rust off the brake pad, right, and then it stopped. So now it starts and it stops. So also, I think that the thermostat on the auto choke system is kind of messed up, because once it was running, right, it was running really rough, the choke flap would not move out of the way. It would not open. So the choke flap was on choke most of the time, and then I had to move my the linkage to turn the flap open, and then it ran well. So it needs a carburetor change and a clean, and also the thermostat, I think, needs to be addressed. So that's pretty cool. The self-propulsion works great on this thing. This thing is going to be an easy fix. I mean, it runs and drives, you know what I mean? This one over here is one of those Craftsmans that look like a Husqvarna. I mean, seriously, you paint this thing orange and put Husqvarna stickers on it, and it's a Husqvarna, you know? It's exactly like, it's a big one. It's a big machine. Anyway, the linkages over here were all screwed up, right? He had one on there. He had two on one handle, and the handle wasn't the right one. And so this needs some kind of jigging, you know, whatever, to get the bail handle on here. So I checked for gas and oil. It started on the first pull also, you know. I don't know if the self-propulsion works. I'm going to need a propulsion handle as well as a new cable, because this one, look, this cable is toast. So that's two that we just looked at, you know what I'm saying? Just looking at it, you know, and it seems to work. Those two are very good mowers. As you can see, it starts up, right? The other one I looked at over here is a Troy-built self-propulsion rear, and their stuff definitely messed up with it, okay? So listen, when I pulled on this, right, it pulled right out of my hand and actually hit my right breast, and it hurts. So what does that mean, fellas? That means it's a sheared keyway. But on the first pull, when it hit my tit, right, blue smoke came out, so it wants to start, see? So the timing is off because of the sheared keyway. So I think that's what that is. I'm not going to pull it anymore because that's so scary when you pull it and it launches out of your hand like that, you know? I mean, that's what I think it is, sheared keyway. So I looked at three of them already. I think those three right there, the first three are Quantum engines and that Kohler XT675. I think they're good to go. This one, as you know, I had like 5 or 6 of them this year alone. They're very common. Looks to be in great shape. It's the 550EX Briggs engine. It's the one that's an auto choke that does not have a primer bulb. It has the plastic carburetor. And as you know, it was off. It's off the deck. I don't know why. But it has no blade. Has no blade, but he did give me the bolts. So I just threw them in there, but I haven't tightened them down yet. And I actually have a blade adapter and a blade for this. So I'll probably go to the back and take that out and see. There's no gas in it at all. And seems to be good Earl. But I'm not going to pull it because I need to secure that onto the deck, get an adapter and a blade. So, you know, just troubleshooting some of the 7 that I got while I'm waiting for the paint to dry. But looks very promising. That Toro, I especially like that Toro recycler with the Kohler engine on it. My friend Andy from Jericho has it. I've worked on it a couple of times. I've had about 5 or 8 of them, you know, in my lifetime, and they've always sold for good money, like $200, $250, you know, depending on the condition. But that looks to be in very good condition too. I just got to get the thermostat and maybe the carb clean, whatever. I need a air cleaner cover for this, right? Actually, I have one on that Toro. I have another one right over there, but I haven't looked at it yet. But if this seems to be good, maybe that self-propulsion's bad. I can take that cover and put it on there. That one also has a bagger. I could take that bagger and that cover, put it on this one. And this wouldn't be like, you know, just shine it up, clean the carb, and address that thermostat thing. Maybe I could take the thermostat thing from there. You know what I'm saying? So for sure, I can get a nice Toro recycler going. I just went to go put that snowblower away. And I'm gonna tighten up these 9/16 volts engine bolts to this thing. Perfect. There's a blade adapter to this exact engine. There's a blade to this exact engine. I really should sharpen that. Just want to see if it fits first. Got a blade spacer exactly for this engine.
Henry, how do you have those exact parts?
Because I had like 6 or 8 of these things this year and fixed 6 of them.
Well, what happened to the other one?
The other one was so dunsky that I just couldn't do anything with it. Alright, so got a blade. Got an adapter, there's no gas in here. Should I put gas in here and just try it? Check the oil, yeah, that's very clean oil, like a new oil change. I'm gonna put some gas in here and see what happens. Okay, put some gas in here. It is an auto choke, so there's no priming. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta connect this thingamabob.
What's a thingamabob, Henry?
Oh, I gotta go back in there and do it. That's difficult. Okay, it wasn't hard. It was very easy. I got the cable back on here. Pull this to over here. Tighten up this. So far, I'm pretty stoked. I didn't think I was gonna have too much luck with these. You know, being they were free. That's right, free. But so far, shared keyway, 2 of them start up, no problem. And this was off the, like I said, this engine was off of it. I don't know why. But we just put a blade on there, a blade adapter, a blade spacer washer. I just connected the bail handle, put gas in it, there's oil in it. You ready? Let's go. I hope it doesn't pull out of my hand. Sounds pretty good. Aside from it running kind of rich, you can tell because the black smoke is coming out, right? Start it up and runs okay. It sounds pretty well. So you know what, man? That's really very good so far, you know? I mean, aside from this one with the cured keyway, the shared keyway, this one seems like it'll start once I fix that, you know? And then we got 3 that start, that just need minor work. I haven't looked at that one or that one again, but anyhow, I am still waiting for paint to dry. Shout out to Jungle Bob, Outlet over in Birmingham, Alabama. Roll Tide. For buying 3 stickers. Thank you very much. Also a huge shout out to my boy Mick over in Mick's Mowers over in the UK. He's donated a couple of quid to the cause. Thanks very much there, Mick. Appreciate all you do. You guys need to go check out Mick's Mowers over in the United Kingdom. Thanks a lot, Mick, for your contribution. and supporting mowers and blowers. Got the foot pads here. I just washed them and I wanted to paint them black, but this one actually looks pretty good, but this one looks very faded. So I'm just gonna go over it with some 98-cent color. This always works very quickly, very fast, and it only cost $1 for this can. Why not, right? It's gonna look new after I'm done with this. 98 cents. Good for touching up stuff, you know what I mean? Why not? So I ordered a couple of tarps. This tarp is done. I hope it's going to be big enough, but I think the frame is still good. Just ordered a $10 tarp, 5 mil, which is pretty thick. You know, not the 12 mil, but the 5 mil. And then there was a big wind the other day, and it blew my patio umbrella off the stand, and then it hit right here. So I'm gonna have to try to fix that, even though I did buy a tarp for it. I'm gonna use some Gorilla Tape and just kind of patch it up a little bit, you know. So here you go. Gorilla Tape. I swear by it. It's so sticky and strong. Did the same thing on the inside as well. And of course I bought a tarp, another tarp, 2 tarps. So one for this one, and then I'll reinforce it over this one. I painted the wheels black. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while for paint to dry, you know, before you can start masking off stuff again. But I think it came out pretty well. It looks much nicer than before. And painting is what it is. It takes a long time for it to cure and for it to dry. And I don't want to mess it up. It's a process, you know? The wheels are painted black. The back part is painted black. But I do want to get this center dash console painted black also. And as you can see, we need to cover up the newly fresh painted red. Otherwise you'll spray black all over the place. So I'll wait for this overnight to cure. And then we'll finish painting it tomorrow. We did quite a lot today. Never forget 911 and all the people that perished on that terrible, tragic day. And thanks a lot for joining me on today's paint job. We'll finish up on another episode, and we also got to check out some of those lawnmowers. So far, so good. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey Henry, it's Andy from the UK, aka Mower Wizard. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers!